Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to Rise and Shine College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, and if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame college football. Welcome to the show, everybody. Sorry about the little mix-up there. The microphone didn't want to work right at first, so I had to reload. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Stink-ass Cap, Benji. Who else we got in here? Hangster. South Texas calling everybody land thieves already. Says he's ready to listen. Oh, man, this is a private stream? What's up with this? Something ain't right. How many people are in here so far? I guess I better check everything, huh? Ay. Let's see what we got. Oh, no, it's public. All right, we're good to go. Kimberly K. Stephen G., welcome into the show. Folks, make sure that you please hit that like button when you get in here. It helps us so much. All right, first thing I wanted to shout out everybody. Last night, great show on the Sooner Legend podcast. Mike the Legend had an awesome show along with Bishop Frank, bringing in, a legend of the game, member of the 1985 National Championship football team, Derek White. Very cool show. Give a shout out to the Legend for that. It was really cool. Drew, what's up, man? Jake, welcome into the show as well. And yeah, Boomer. Glad to see everybody in here. But listen, it was a lot of fun watching that show, listen to those guys kind of reminisce on that season and just kind of what that football team meant to OU football. Talked a lot about the Red River shootout. You had the tie game, I guess, in 84, and then obviously got a win there over Todd Dodge and those Longhorns in 85. 85 was also the year that Troy Aikman went down. Very cool. The way that they talked about that, Jamel Holloway, was my favorite Sooner going back to them. That's actually the team that helped me kind of really love the Sooners. It was really cool, man. Very, very cool. So, shout out to those guys. Good morning there, Matt. Hey, good to see you, my guy. Any guests for today? Possibly, but not at the moment. I think what I'm really here to do is I'm going to give you my last little preview for the game tomorrow. It's probably be a fairly short one, but we might have somebody pop in towards the end, or I may let you guys do some call-ins or something like that. We can do something, but going to be probably a little shorter today, but plenty of stuff to talk about still. Shout out to the Hall of Fame Mafia viewers and subscribers. Y'all push Legends past the 500 mark, and that is a huge for a small channel. Hey, yeah, he hadn't been going for that long, really. He took a little break, did some fishing over the summer, obviously, but really, I think he's only about 6 months in. So to be at 500 that early is pretty quick, and to be honest with you, for the times that he was making content, he's done quite a bit. So yeah, shout him out, man. That's awesome stuff. Thank you, Stephen G. Appreciate that. He's done a great job too, and I think it's just going to get better and better. Mr. White was talking about that he wanted to get some more of those guys from that 85 team to join them as well on the show. It was really cool, man. Again, I enjoyed it thoroughly. Just really had a good time watching. But all right. So let's talk a little bit about this Red River game, though. Okay. Obviously, we know as Oklahoma fans that OU's owned the series for the better part of the last 50, 60 years. 50 years anyway. And much of that is in part due to the fact that this is the time that Oklahoma has really shined, from the 50s on, really. You won your first championship in what, 55, 56, I believe it was. I should know that, but had the 2 championships there in the middle of the 70s as well. Some of the best Sooner teams in history, possibly the best Sooner teams in history there. You're talking about the Selman brothers and some of those guys. Again, you want to listen to the historical side of all this stuff. Sooner Legend is that guy. He's the dude to make sure that you are listening to, and he can tell you all that stuff. Now, the 85 team, again, that was the team that made me remember, really love OU, because and it helped me and my pops, we bonded over that. So Jamel Holloway, the Boz, I remember a lot of hearing a lot of Derek White, or I'm sorry, not Derek White. Yeah, Derek White being one of those mainstays in that secondary. They would come up and hit your ass. They had a hell of a defense there. Keith Jackson at tight end. The list goes on and on. That was a seriously crazy team, and hearing them reminisce about that last night was really cool, because talking about how when Troy Aikman went down, everybody thought that they were screwed. Everybody thought they were screwed. And I just feel like that really kind of galvanized that football team from what it sounded like. And they with Jamel, he was just a different kind of guy, man. He was going to electric player. And, really, I feel like this is kind of what we're running into right now. Because, when you look at it, this is a team that is definitely, run by its defense. Brent Venables has done what the mandate was for him to do coming in here. Make sure that you get this defense ready to go and play in the Keenafy. Hey, we're going to do that, bud. We're going to do that. Get these guys ready to play in the SEC. Build the trenches. Build up that defense. That's where you're going to win. The big time is to do it right there. Okay. I would tell you that we know that they're on track there. Offensively, it's been a struggle this season. Coming out of the gates, you've had a lot of injuries, particularly in that, the wide receiver room decimated by it. Top 5 wide receivers out. It appears that more than likely you're going to end up with still all 5 of them not out. I don't think Deion Burks is going to be playing, according to everything that we're hearing. But you have had some guys kind of stepping up in the last few games at times. And, of course, the quarterback change, not the same circumstances as 1985, but you had expectations for Troy Aikman back in those days. He gets hurt against Miami. They end up losing that game. And then turns around, then you get a freshman comes in and just electric. They're able to go back to the wishbone and just dominate the sport from then on out. I would just tell you that that's a serious situation. Now, the offensive line is getting better. They've, you notice there was only one player on the O-line that's on the injury report this week. Of course, being Garen Hatchett, not Hatchett. The kid from Washington out for the season. You're good there either way. All right. I feel like they're getting healthy at the right time, but of course you do need some of those players on the wide receiver room to kind of step it up and, take a step forward. What you have now in Michael Hawkins is an electric player, guys. He's an electric player. That's all there is to it. The guy is a sub 4.4 40 guy. We've seen him, he ran the fastest that they clocked in college football this season. They're 3rd fastest anyway, at like 21 plus miles per hour. We've seen him put his body on the line, and we haven't seen him put the ball in jeopardy, which is huge. He seems to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations for most quarterbacks. He's able to get out of the way of, rushers, not get sacked a bunch, and be able to still pick up a lot of yardage even whenever he's hurried in the pocket. Okay. Now, we could go back and forth about the history and all that stuff. I don't know. You guys, I'll leave that to you guys there in the comment section. Who I am going to take exception to, I know everybody probably watched on Fanatic Perspective this week, our boy from the Horns Down podcast, along with Seth. They did their little trash talk show with Steven from Fanatic Perspective, of course, Nino from Nino's Corner. It was a fun show. But to me, it really illustrated what it is that is this Texas fan base. And you guys are illustrating it in the comments right now too. You're delusional. Because all this bluster and talk about the offense and what it is, the defense and what it is, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. And just real quick there, Astro, what's the total of the rivalry? Who gives a shit? Since they integrated college football in 1970, by the way, it took Texas until 70 to do that. Oklahoma's up 40-25 in that since 1970. In modern era, you guys don't own shit. Okay? Oklahoma has more national championships, more Heismans, more conference championships than anybody in the country. And they've been kicking your ass. 17 of the last 25 have gone to OU. And here's why number 18 in the last 26 is going to go to OU. As I said, you heard a lot from Steven and Nino, and it really does outline exactly how crazy some of these narratives are coming out of there. Let's listen to Steven here.
Because Michael Van Buren hadn't been running around out there like that. So all I'm saying is with Anthony Hill and Colin Simmons and Makuba and all these guys that we have on our team, good luck executing that game plan if the whole game plan is hero ball the entire time. Dylan Gabriel didn't do just hero ball last year. Let's also clarify that. He had some strategic design quarterback runs that did gash us. Absolutely. The tempo last year was also a challenge. That is something that we've adjusted to. Also, the boogeyman that spooked you guys in your bowl game is now on our staff in Johnny Nansen. You're laughing because you know it's true. Okay? So good luck dealing with all of that, because the two knuckleheads that you have in your box calling your offense, Seth Luttrell and Bob Joe John Finley, or whatever the hell his name is, those guys are in for a rude awakening when it comes to PK and Johnny Nansen. I don't like that matchup for you guys.
Seth, he said PK. Oh my God, PK.
Norman.
PK is ass. He's been ass. Y'all can't win, make it to the promised land, do things you really want to do.
Shout out to K. Chris. Yeah. And that part was obviously absolutely funny, because to sit there and talk about PK and all that stuff is kind of hilarious to me in view of the fact that, hold on to one second. It's pretty hilarious to me in view of the fact that OU's kind of had their way with PK and everybody else. What did he do to stop Caleb Williams a few years back? All right. Yeah, Norman's out there barking, over here barking and stuff. Let's see. What does he got here? What does he got? 3 national championships and 4 Heismans. 4, huh? Okay. Anyway, here we go. I love it. Good luck with all that, he says. Those guys are in for a rude awakening when it comes to PK and Johnny Nansen. Talking about the offense for Oklahoma. Yeah, I find it hilarious. And by the way, Steven decided to go on and predict 52-17 Saturday. 52-17. This is a game that Oklahoma has dominated for the last, at the very least, the last quarter century. And really, as I said, since the integration of college football, and or in, of course, in Texas's case, came a lot later than the integration of the rest of the country when it came to college football. But during that time, it's 40 to 25. So for the last 65 years, for the last 65 years, you're talking about a situation where it's just not really close. Certainly the last 25, it isn't. It is what it is. But the rude awakening part, let's talk a little bit about that. First and foremost, I just want to say that the defense that they have there at Texas, yeah, it's ranked pretty high. They've got really good rankings. But the truth is that they haven't really all right. Like you're going to do anything but lick anybody to death. Shush. Freaking dog. All right. You've won a second Heisman. Ricky won one. But that's it. You can read my lips. Good. It's my 54th Red River. Always pumped. Legend. Good. All right. History's not going to help. That's right. I'm going to tell you what is going to help. Let's talk about that defense. They're ranked, number 2 in scoring defense. They're right up there near the top in total defense, which I think is a stupid. I'm not a big fan of the total defense one. It's cool if you don't give up any yards. That means you probably don't give up points too. But a lot of teams, you could give up certain amounts here and there and not give up a ton of points and still win a lot of games. So the reason that I bring any of it up, though, is when you get points, when you start talking about the points they give up and their passing defense, which is what he was talking about there, I think you've heard guys like SEC Mike talking about that as well a little bit this week. And really, I would just say overall, let's see, where is that stupid thing? There it is. Scoring defense. Let's go to scoring offense for them. So the defenses that we're talking about, let's talk about what their defense obviously supposedly is so tough, and they're going to give such a hard time to Oklahoma this week and, shut down anything that OU is going to be doing, which, by the way, we obviously know that you've got to do what you've got to do when it comes to you're going to have to do a better job getting the guys open, hitting those guys. But that's what we've definitely seen Michael Hawkins do. A lot of people want to sit there and act like he can't throw the ball at all. He was just a running quarterback. That's crazy talk because it's not true at all. But here we go. Let's talk a little bit about this. Look at the defense that they've put out there. If you look at the teams that they've played against, I mean, who cares? The UTSA does not score 255.4. That's obviously wrong. But Colorado State, one of the last in the nation, scoring 21 points a game at 111th. Michigan's at 100th at 23.5. UTSA, I believe, I just had that up just a second ago so I could find it again. But they're 44th. I want to say they're right around 27. 26, 27, or no, maybe closer to 30 points a game, because Mississippi State being at 27, yeah, it's around 30 points a game. Louisiana Monroe is worse than, of course, that is worse than that 129th. They're at 130th, so it's up over 150. Oh, we're talking pass yards a game now. Let's see, scoring offense. Let's see. Louisiana Monroe at 115th, 19.8. Mississippi State 58th at 27.4 points per game. Colorado State 111th at 21. Michigan at 100. So there's two teams that they've played in this entire season so far that have been up over They're out of the top 100, or in the top 100, I should say. You look at that. I mean, look, guys, that's pretty simple to tell. Now, the other thing is this passing offense. You've heard a lot of what these guys have been saying. SEC Mike was talking about how their pass defense efficiency is second in the country or whatever. OU's is 27th in the country when it comes to that. Now, that's all well and good, but as you can see, it's not like those opponents have racked up a bunch of damn passing yards on anybody either. Colorado State gets about 176 yards a game. That's good enough for 110th in the country. Michigan, 115 yards a game. That's good enough for 129th. ULM, 111. That's 130th. UTSA, they're at 255.4, 44th in the country. And, of course, Mississippi State coming in right behind them at 243.6. That puts them 58th in the country. Mississippi State and UTSA combined are what, 3 and 7 overall. So it kind of is what it is. UTSA's wins coming over like Kennesaw and who was it? Oh, yeah, Houston Christian. Big time stuff, right? So, good for you, to be able to, handle and withstand the pressure that a team like that's going to put on you. But let's look at Michigan, right? Let's look at Michigan, because that's the one game that Texas fans can hang their hat on, that they played somebody with a pulse, supposedly. I don't think that they really have much of a pulse. I think that's been clear that since Jim Harbaugh went to go coach the Chargers, things have changed quite a bit. Their defense is not very good. I've got another graphic I can pop up there, and will pop up there in just a second as far as their scoring defense is concerned. It's not great. And we know that they're one-dimensional. Why do we know they're one-dimensional? Because of this right here. The passing numbers for Michigan from week to week, and we're talking about a 4-2 football team. They just got their second loss last week against Washington on the road. But if you can notice here, their quarterbacks were 16 to 27 in their first week of the season, had 121 yards, 59% completion percentage against. Let's move on past Texas real quick. We'll go to Arkansas State, 11 to 14, 133, 78 yards, and a 10-point win over a team that OU blew out 73-0 in the first game of last year, right? Move on to USC, where they were 7 to 12 for 32 yards, 58% completion percentage. Minnesota, they ended up 10 of 18 overall, 86 yards, 55% completions. Washington, 13 to 25, 204 yards, and 52% completions. Now, oddly enough, the best game that they've had, and in fact, I don't even think it was actually 204 for Washington. 204 came against Texas, though. 22 of 33, 66%. That was their second best day completion percentage-wise, their best day overall passing the football. Of course, in a loss, okay? This is the one team that you can say is able to recruit anywhere near the level of what Texas is recruiting, okay? And they flat out can't throw the football. They have their best day against you. And we're talking about how great this Texas defense and particularly the secondary is in this instance. Yeah, we know what you're averaging. We know what you're averaging, Calvin. But the point being is that none of this stuff really matters at this point. Because when you look at this for what it is, they haven't been tested whatsoever. They haven't been tested whatsoever. Steve Sarkisian is one of the, and I've said this a bunch. I would tell you that this offense, pretty damn good. But you kept hearing Steven talking about, this is a way better offense than the one we had last year that sent all those guys into the first round. Guys like Xavier Worthy and A.D. Mitchell and Jatavion Sanders and Jordan Whittington and Brooks. None of those guys are still here. And really, we're supposed to believe that you're actually better just because the numbers say so when you've played a junior varsity schedule so far. That's not who you're getting this weekend. It's not who you're getting this weekend, particularly. And when you talk about defenses, you're going to get a real defense. But offensively speaking, yeah, Oklahoma has struggled. No doubt they've struggled to be their normal selves and where they score a lot and put up a ton of points, that kind of stuff. I would tell you that this could be a get right week for OU against this defense, because there's absolutely no way in hell that I believe that your defense is anywhere close to what it was a year ago. It doesn't have the push up front. And we know that because they haven't gone up against anybody that's going to test them in any way, shape, or form the way that OU will. Look, let's just take a look at one game you want to think about. The last game that Texas had, Mississippi State. That was a dogfight until the fourth quarter. Toledo beat them 41 to freaking 10. Was it 34 to 13 you guys win? Come on. That's the worst team in the SEC. By quite a bit. By any measure. The worst. You're not going to go out there and do that to Oklahoma because you didn't do it last year. Everybody's guaranteeing that you guys are going to go out there and score over 30. Guaranteed. And that's the only way Oklahoma can win is if they don't allow you to get to 30. Okay. I feel like it could be a get-right game for OU. Hawkins is gonna challenge you in a way that you cannot get, that you haven't been challenged anyway. He's accurate and he doesn't get rattled. Period. I feel like you're gonna end up finding a situation where you get
South Texas Super Chat, $2. Junior varsity schedule continues this week for UT.
I love it. Please keep all receipts, folks. Everybody in there, keep all receipts. Thanks for the super chat. Doesn't hit the screen, buddy. Texas struggled against Mississippi State till late in the third. Okay. It was a dogfight for longer than it should have been when Toledo blew them out, and it wasn't a game in the fourth quarter. Wasn't even kind of a game. The bottom line is it's a lot of smoke and mirrors with you guys. A lot of smoke and mirrors. And that's another thing. You guys turn the ball over more than Oklahoma does. There's a lot of reasons that point to OU having a much better chance in this game than anybody wants to give them credit for. And you know what? As an Oklahoma fan, I actually love the fact that nobody thinks OU wins, because you know what? That means they come in playing with house money. No pressure on OU to win. All the pressure is squarely on the shoulders of Sark and Quinn Ewers, who, by the way, hasn't played in the last few weeks because of that abdominal strain. That's not one of those injuries that just goes away. And last year, Oklahoma got to them a lot. 5 sacks. The most sacks they gave up the entire year came in the Red River game. And guess what? The defensive line better right now. Much better. You've got Deshaun McCullough coming back this week as well. He was in the Texas backfield all game last year. Let's take a look at what they've done there on the defensive side for OU, because there's a lot of people talking about, oh, well, these numbers aren't as good. This is not an elite defense. This is an elite defense. Make no mistake. All right. All right, points allowed per game. Now, let's go to this other one first. So whereas, the scoring offense for Texas the teams that they've gone up against and their scoring offenses are all in the 100s. You've got a couple that are here too, but you've also got some that have put up quite a few points as well, right? Texas obviously comes in, as I said, at 45 points a game. That's 7th in the country. Auburn is at 64th, though. 64th, 30 points a game. And they got 21 against OU. Tulane in Tennessee is the one you really should look at, though, because Tulane, not only they went out there and put up 500 yards of offense on a Kansas State team that's got one loss this year. They almost won. They should have won the game, really. They didn't. Had a late interception that hurt them, but they're putting up 42.5 points a game. One of the things you would look at with them is South Florida, who gave Alabama all they could handle through the entirety of 3 quarters, and Alabama pulls away late in the 4th to win that one going away. But they're averaging 42.5 points a game. That's number 19 in the country. Okay. Or they only had 19 against Oklahoma. That's not number 19 in the country. They only had 19 against OU. Tennessee coming in, they're one of the top offenses as well. They're just above where Texas is at. I think they come in at 5th. 25 points that they got against OU. I don't want to hear any of that BS about taking your foot off the gas bull crap. They were getting sacked a lot. They weren't, the secondary gave up a couple of big plays. For the most part, they were on the field too much. That everybody knows that at this point. So if you start looking at how they did that, you got to give them that props. Now, the scoring defenses on the other side of it, let's see. Scoring offenses on the other side of it dang it keeps moving. Okay. Scoring offenses on the other side of it, Texas coming in, of course, at 45 points a game. That's 7th in the country. I said 64th for Auburn. Tennessee's coming in at 46. That's tied for 4th. Tulane is is at 12th. And then Houston and Temple, of course, not scoring as much. They did what they should have done against Temple. Houston, their defense is pretty good. They actually are one of the top 60 scoring defenses in the country. So not very good on offense. They were pretty good on defense.
David Chamberlain Super Chat, $4.99. Good morning, Jason. OU wins 31-24. The defense shuts Texas down. The offense wakes up and has more rushing and receiving yards in Texas.
Offense wakes up, has more rushing and receiving yards in Texas. Yeah, I agree. In the end, I'm going to just tell you that while I expect Texas to have some success at times in this game, because the strength of this team is most definitely their offense, and in particular, their passing offense. Now, what I would tell you is that with Quinn coming in with that injury, I don't know how you could feel that great about that. At the very least, let's say he's 100% okay. Rust is going to be there. And not to mention, probably a little shell shock and PTSD from last year getting sacked 5 times and turning the ball over 3 times. One of the other things that I saw from Steven the other day that had me laughing was, now let's see if that's right here. I think I have it right here. His tweet about let's see. No, I don't have it right here. I think I have it on the phone, though. Let's find it. I know I have it, so let's just find it. This is funny as well. So, yeah, Quinn Ewers for his career versus Brent Venables led OU defenses 52-68, 76 completion percentage, 669, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Overall, Texas averages 39.5 and 556 total yards of offense in those games. Lord have mercy for what year 3 Sark quarterback about to do to them boys in Norman. Now, first of all, a lot of that came against that first-year defense under Brent Venables that wasn't a bunch of his guys. It was a bunch of guys that were left from the Lincoln Riley era. It is what it is. You got to deal with what you got to deal with. And then they didn't have a quarterback. Yeah, He had a field day that day. But let's talk about the next year when they were decent, Steven. The next year when they were decent, yeah, you went in there and put up 30. Only 23 on the defense, though. 23 points on the defense. He had 3 turnovers. 1 touchdown pass. They got stopped on the goal line. It's not that great. Not that great. It's easy to, you can gloss over some of this bullshit, but it's still bullshit. Still bullshit. Oh, man. Makes me laugh, bro. It really does. All right. Oh, we got a lot of these. Still don't have a quarterback, but we do have a quarterback there, D-Max. We do. Michigan's defense is better. Oh, okay, good. Good. I'm glad you said that one. Michigan's defense is better than OU's defense. You can't make this shit up. Cannot make this shit up. Let me find it right here. Huh. Maybe it's right over here. Give me 1 second. I can tell you one thing. That defense at Michigan is not that good. All right. They hadn't played a lot of teams that put up a lot of points, but it isn't that good. You guys put up 31 on them. And that was probably, look, they're better than, they probably got a better defense than Texas does, but I wouldn't go too much further than that. I would not go too much further than that. All right. Yeah. Let me go to. Where the hell is that? Yeah, that 85-15 is great too. That everybody's thinking that that's what's going to happen with Oklahoma. All right, I'll find that in just a second. But in any event, Oklahoma's offense is going to be fine too. It's not going to be led by offense on this Oklahoma team. This is not Lincoln Riley's Oklahoma, folks. And that first year that he's talking about with Quinn Ewers doing what he did was definitely due to the fact that, the facts are it wasn't Brent Venables' guys in there. It wasn't. What are we talking about, Des? I haven't gotten to any of you guys. 31 and 37 for 364. Yeah, don't forget about the 2 interceptions and the fumble there, Des. Don't forget about those, because here's the deal. What did all those 20 in a row pass completions get him? It got him 1 touchdown pass. 1 touchdown pass. Last year, especially, they did a lot of letting you beat them underneath. They weren't going to give you all of it. The in between the 20s, a lot of teams moved the football. Not a lot of teams were getting in the end zone, in the red zone, and you guys really struggle with that. And this defense is a lot better this year than it was last year. I would tell you there ain't no damn way your offense is better. No damn way. There's absolutely no way. And we all know that. But let's talk about points allowed. Yeah, and so let's talk about points allowed game by game. They giving up just 21, 25. Auburn actually has one of the better scoring offenses in the country. Up at 64. Tennessee's at 4th and 12th. The only 2 that didn't look good were these 2. And they didn't give up points to them either. So it is what it is. You guys have gone up against teams that don't do shit. Hell, Toledo beat the crap out of Mississippi State in Starkville by more than you guys beat them in Austin. Michigan had its best passing day against Texas. The bottom line is that defense is not ready for, and you know what hurt them? What hurt them against Mississippi State? The fact that they had a new mobile quarterback. He wasn't great passing the ball, but he could run. That hurt them. It kept them in the game for much longer than it should have. You guys should have won that one 50-0. No doubt about it. Colorado State was another one of those games. Yeah, you go and put up a bunch of points. They don't score on anybody. Anybody. All this smoke and mirrors. I'm just going to say the bottom line is you hear Bucky and BK was on there this morning talking about the OU secondary, saying it's trash. They were saying that the defensive line wasn't going to be able to stand up to that vaunted offensive line that gave up 5 sacks last year for Texas. Nobody thinks Quinn's going to be rusty or that he might be still a little banged up. Period. It's funny stuff, man. You can go back and look at this all you want to, but the bottom line is rush offenses. Oklahoma against the rush, they're one of the best teams in the country against the rush. And they've actually played teams that run the ball pretty well. Tennessee's 5th in the country, 266.8 yards per game. They couldn't get, they were under 150. The only time this year they've been held under that. Tulane's 21st in the country at 213.8 per game. They held them down there too. They're passing. We showed you on the passing yardage already. Look, it just doesn't. They don't get it done. You start looking at Texas. Colorado State is 57th in the country. That's one of the better ones. UTSA 84th, 89th. What is it? 81st for Mississippi State. Michigan's at 38th. That's the best team you played rushing the football. And they're one-dimensional. When they're one-dimensional, it's not that hard to just load up the box and shut them down. Not that hard to just load up the box and shut them down. You haven't had to go against anybody that isn't one-dimensional or is good anyway. At some point, and it starts today or it starts tomorrow, you're going to get punched in the mouth. You're going to get into one of those fist fight games in a phone booth. And then what are you going to do? Nobody wants to talk about the fact that, look, we know that Sark is really good calling plays. He's one of the best play callers in the country. No doubt about it. He got outdone last year by Brent Venables in this defense. Key times they got to him to get him sacked. They were able to force turnovers on him, multiple turnovers. They won the game. They played their little chess match, and he won. And believe me, you know there's going to be more out there. They've been getting their number one in the SEC in sacks at OU. So it's only gotten better. Because last year, I think they've already almost equaled last year's sack total in the first 5 weeks of the season. I know that's a great offensive line. We're going to see. Defensively, though, I got to see this first because PK hasn't done it already. He hasn't shown that he can put a serviceable defense out for an entire season yet. They looked really good up front last year. Bo Davis is gone. In the middle, they're certainly questionable. Put it that way. I like Colin Simmons as much as the next guy. Think he's a good player, good young player. I don't think he's going to have a whole lot to do with this game. Let's see. Outscreamed Sark on the goal line. Well, they shut him down on the goal line for certain. That's seeing this barely pass the ball stuff. Yeah, for the first few weeks, they didn't look good. Certainly against Tennessee, they didn't look good. And they didn't look great against Houston with Jackson Arnold. Jackson Arnold's not the cornerback anymore. The line's actually a lot more healthy than it was when he was in, too. That wasn't even just all Jackson's fault. But Michael Hawkins changes things, and he can throw the football. He can't throw the football. Obviously, you guys that are coming in here saying that stuff, you're just saying it because you don't watch. I actually have watched every Texas game. I know what they are. I know what they are. And against certain competition, looked all right. I like their offense. Their defense, we'll see. We'll see. I think that Oklahoma's offense definitely has to do a better job at the receiving area. They're going to have to run the football here. I think just like any other time in the Red River game, you need to win the rushing battle. I like Oklahoma's chances of winning the rushing battle, even if it's with Michael Hawkins getting the lion's share there. That's fine on designed runs. The fact that he can ad-lib, contrary to what Steven had to say, the fact that he can ad-lib is a plus, not a negative against Oklahoma. It's a plus for Oklahoma, period. Because you can put him in situations where he's getting pressured and otherwise it would be a sack, and he can go and make yardage out of it. A la 48-yard touchdown run against Auburn when they were rushing him. And that the facts are he hit a 60-yard bomb that was on the money. That was an NFL throw. They didn't really do a whole lot as far as I think that they really kind of made it super vanilla for that first week. It was his first start on the road. They didn't want to give him a ton of the playbook. In the end, he came through and won the freaking football game. Hit the big play when they had to hit it. And the defense that was a little tired after the Tennessee game, they came through when they needed to. And they're going to do the same thing this week. I don't know how many yards they give up, but I know they're not going to give up more points than what OU gets. And they may even, return a score or two. I expect them to get a defensive touchdown in this game. I think that's going to be a big part of it. This is a much better defense than what you played last year. That I know. All right, let me get to some of these comments. The ranking of the best defenses Texas has played to this point, I'll tell you. The best scoring defenses Texas has played against: ULM at 39th in the country, followed by Michigan at 56th in the country. ULM gives up 19.8 points per game. Michigan gives up 22.3 points per game. The rest of the other three, Colorado State, 103rd in the country. That's 30.6 points per game. UTSA giving up 31.6 points per game, same as Mississippi State. They're tied for 110th in the country. So, again, haven't played great offenses, haven't played great defenses. Consequently, your numbers look great. 45 points a game. Everybody's scoring a shit ton of points on these teams. Louisiana Monroe, whoop-de-whoop. Who have they beaten? UTSA, they're 1-4 with wins, or no, 2-3. Sorry, they're 2-3. They have wins over Kennesaw State and Houston Christian. I didn't know Houston Christian had a D1 football program at this point. It is what it is. What? Oh, yeah. Shocked and ashamed of me there, Ryman. Ha. All right. Anyway. 1052 here in Wisconsin says chicken. And Texas still sucks. Plus horns down.
The brand has finally returned. Fuck your brand.
Indeed. Defense going to be violent. Texas ain't ready for that kind of violence. Michigan tried for the first quarter, but wore down after their offense couldn't do shit. I agree. That's where you have to come in and you need to do something on offense. But we know that Michael Hawkins is not the quarterbacks that they have at Michigan. And to think that he is just wishful thinking. You know it is. I know it is. He accounted for 55 touchdowns as a senior last year and took a team that would have made the playoffs without him on that team to the semifinal round and damn near beat the state champion. They went toe-to-toe with them the whole way. I know it's different in college football. He's shown that he is not concerned about pressure. Look, he played really good against Tennessee. Played really good. He took his time. He's not put the ball in jeopardy one time. That's the other thing. Everything that he's done, he's not getting rushed or hurried or into making bad decisions because of that. That's all there is to it. Oh, man. Michigan and OU is no different from each other. Good/average defense, bad offense. Yeah, we're going to see, man. All I'm going to tell you is this. The offense has definitely not lived up to its billing. When you have as many injuries as Oklahoma's had, it makes sense why they haven't been as high-flying as normal. Again, I would tell you this is not Lincoln Riley's football teams. They're still coming to this 4-1. And in the past, if Lincoln Riley's offense has struggled, what do you think would have happened? He'd have lost at least another couple of games. At least another couple. That's just all there is to it. It was the race to 50 until now. Now it's not that way. I got news for you guys. You're not getting 30 points. You're not getting 30 points. I'll be surprised if you get over 20. And guess what? Whether it's Quinn or not, I feel like you're probably going to see both. Because I don't think Quinn's ready probably. The abdominal strains doesn't take much to re-aggravate something like that. And we know he's a little fragile both mentally and physically because he's never made it through an entire season. He's been out a month. At the very least, he'll be rusty. How long is the leash? If he doesn't get hurt, how long is the leash? I feel like it's probably not super long. Shout out to Buc-ee's. Once he ditched the hybrid system. And that's the other thing. They've had 2 weeks to prep for this. I think that you've got a playbook that's going to suit Michael Hawkins, not Jackson Arnold. Period. Yeah, that's it. You're just hoping Arch doesn't come in the game. And I don't know that I hope that he does, really, to be honest. No, you don't. No, you don't. Yeah, I do. Because the offense that I feel like they're going to be running right now is not the same offense they've been running, which is not what he ever ran with the RPO system. The veer and shoot isn't the same thing as the air raid, the Leach air raid. And that's what Seth has always run. If you go back and look at what he ran when he was at North Carolina, when he was at North Texas, Arizona, even Tech, their offenses were fine. Always. When he was calling plays. I'm not concerned about that. I think it's time for him to show it. But I also think part of it had to do with the fact that they didn't have any protection either. Plus the fact that you're down your top 5 wide receivers. It's taking a little bit of time. The good news with Hawkins is he actually has chemistry with the guys that are in the game right now because he wasn't the starter at the start of the year, and that's who he was throwing to on the second team. So you've seen Jocko Espedaway have a pretty good breakout second half against Tennessee. Bauer Sharp looked really good against Auburn at times. They had a couple of plays that got called back. That pick play was whatever, man. There's a couple of balls that got called back that Bauer could have had a huge game. He still had a good game. He could have had a monster game, though. And I feel like that's a situation where he can exploit that leaky secondary that we know you have. I don't care that Makuba's back there or the kid from Washington. The kid from Washington wasn't stopping nobody there. In the end, you're going to find – and here's the other thing. Taylor Tatum is also a big part of this. Another freshman. He was hurt last week. I think that with Javonte looking really good the last few weeks, he's looked a lot better as the line's gotten a little bit better. A couple of those he was pretty close to breaking last week. I think that, first of all, they can exploit you on the edge or in the middle of that defense. I know that they can. Taylor Tatum is another dude that's different. Some of those, and you don't have any of those running backs in the backfield right now that are super difference makers. I like the guys that you have back there, but Jaden Blue's been a fumble machine, so he's kind of in Sark's doghouse. We'll see how much he gets to play, especially if he puts the ball on the ground, which Oklahoma will be attacking the football when he's got it because he's had the fumbles. I like the other guys that you got coming in, but let's not act like they're world beaters because they're not. They haven't been. And that makes you kind of one-dimensional if you don't get the run game going. And nobody runs against Oklahoma. Even Tennessee, which is one of the top rushing teams in the country. I think they're top 5 right now, and that's after Oklahoma held them to less than half their average coming into the game. Under 150 yards. They were averaging over 300 yards in their first, 4 games. It is what it is. If Tatum makes the plays, excuses are over for Barnes. Look, Barnes has been good. He hadn't been the problem. The one that's the issues that you've had out of the running backs, guys, has really, honestly, Gavin Sawchuk hasn't done anything. Barnes is running hard. But Taylor Tatum is an electric kind of guy. He is. He erases angles. He's able to do things that there's not a running back that's going to be playing Saturday in the Cotton Bowl that's more skilled than Taylor Tatum is, guaranteed. All right. What is this? He has broken through tackles, Cole. That's what he has been doing. He needs to learn to make people miss. Let's check out these live stream numbers real quick. We've already had over 500 views. We only got 33 likes. Come on, guys. Not even 10%. Let's go. An enigma. Let's say he's been a disappearing act. Is what he's been. Hey, here's the one thing. We know that the first 2 years that he was here, it was always after the first half of the season that he looked good. So maybe that starts this week. I hope so. They need to get the running game going. I think that's the key. If you're going to beat this team, first off, you're going to beat them defensively, but you got to go out there and do your thing and win the rushing game. And that's the other thing. Texas is not going to win the rushing game here. They're not. If OU doesn't have a great game running the football from their running backs, they'll get something out of Hawkins there too, because there will be some designed runs in there. Believe that. And that's probably one of the keys for them. When it comes to their rush defense, though, it's one of the best in the country. They don't give up much on the ground. They just don't. So when you become one-dimensional and you can't win the rushing battle, because let's not get it twisted and act like Quinn Ewers can run the ball, which would mean even if you put in Arch Manning, he's a straight line runner. He's not a dynamic runner. Okay. But then now you're bringing in Arch into a game that you guys don't want to see him in, apparently. Again, they've gone up against much better freaking rush teams than you guys have. Rush offense is 5th, 21st, 66th, 82nd. There's only one that's outside of the top 100, and they didn't get shit on OU. Houston didn't get shit running the ball on OU either. Auburn actually had probably the best running game against Oklahoma so far. But Tennessee, this is number 5 in the country, and they're still averaging almost 266 is their average now. It got brought down quite a bit by OU. So we'll see. What do we got here? R. Mason Thomas is going to tee. Yeah, if you can't run, RMT is going to tee off. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're dreaming, bro. You're dreaming. The better for this team right now. Yeah, because you have to throw it. But that's what's going to get you beat. You can't do it. Well, dude, Marcus Major. When did Marcus Major ever do anything? When? Stan J. Ross says, that's what I was going to point out. I think the O-line has been the issue in the play calling at the point Sawchuk has been in. O-line is more healthy and had 2 weeks of good practice. Yeah, they've been more healthy. They actually played the same offensive line 2 weeks in a row. That first 3 weeks of the season, they had like 10 different combinations that they were having to do. Everybody's healthy except for one guy. And it's not a guy they were ever expecting to really be a starter. So I think they're in much better shape there. And again, the Texas defensive line isn't that good. It isn't. I think this is a get-right week for the Oklahoma offense. I do. Particularly in the running game. And you have to win the running game battle to win this game. We know that. You guys are not going to go out there and put up a bunch of fucking points on Oklahoma's defense. This is the best defense they will have played against. And this is not Texas's best offense. The numbers do lie sometimes. They do lie because you're not paying attention to the fact that, you know, the scoring offenses, the passing for those other teams you've played against, the passing defenses. I mean, it's just bottom line. Look, as I said, with the whole Michigan literally had 2 games, or actually they've got 4 games where they're in the 50% completion rankings. 4 games out of their 6, they haven't made it to 60% completions. 4. 2 of those games, they didn't even get 60 passing yards. Or I'm sorry, they didn't get 100 passing yards. One of them, you had 32 yards against USC. They had 86 against Minnesota. They put up 204 yards against Texas and completed 66% of their passes. Arkansas State was the only team that allowed them to complete a higher percentage, 11 of 14, 78%, but it was 133 yards. Their best game came against Texas. And they're shitty at it. You're not going to run the football against this team. And if you can't pass, or if you can't run, you're going to be in trouble passing it too. You're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble. Lori. You wish, but you don't see it. You're not listening then to anything. Look, even just with Michael Hawkins, they will outrush Texas in this game. They will. Believe it. This is why they're going to win the game. OU's going to win the game. That's it. Run the ball right at Simmons with Barnes. Yeah, I think that they need to do more on the edges. I don't know. I think that the main thing that you want to do is you need Anthony Hill to have to chase somebody around. You need to make sure that he is preoccupied with somebody, you're going to have to run the ball and scheme him out of it, really, because I think he's their best run defender. How confident? Very. I don't even think it's a question. I think Oklahoma wins. Again, this is not what Oklahoma fans are used to seeing out of their team, where the offense is the question. It's never been the question. It's always been the race to 50. Now you have a defense that's one of the best in the country, and the numbers are going to bear that out by the end of the season. Okay? It may not be. Look, they're going up against a much better overall schedule, period, than what Texas is. I just showed you guys. Not only is Michigan not what it was, not even close. They shouldn't be ranked at all in the top 25, but they don't do shit offensively. And their defense is in the hundreds in a lot of categories. A lot of categories. Everybody wants to talk about the Michigan defense. It's not good. It's not good. So, yes, I'm confident. Again, against what? The rush defenses that you've gone up against aren't good. They're just not good. I will show you that one again. Let's just go look at it on the stats here. I'll just pull it all up. Oklahoma's rush defense. Let's look at this real quick. I'll show you here. So Oklahoma's at 27th in rush defense, giving up an average of just 2.6 yards per rush. 2.6. They're giving up 105 yards per game. Now, Texas is giving up 106. But Texas has gone up against some bad rush defenses. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here, guys. Rush offenses, I mean. So OU's giving up 2.6 yards per rush. Texas giving up 3 yards per rush. But again, let's look at that one. What we really need to look at is rush offenses. And we'll go through some of these teams that they've played against. All right. So Tennessee, again, number 5, they're averaging 266 yards per game. Let me take this off the screen too. Sorry about that. Pitch. All right. So, yeah, you've got Tennessee is at 266.8 per game. We held them under 150 yards. Let's see, how long does it take to find? Oh, well, there's Tulane averaging over 213. They're at 21st in the country. Oklahoma shut them down too. Texas is at 37th overall. They're giving up 191. That's almost 100 more yards than Oklahoma. or they're getting 100 more yards. So we're talking about, never mind. Anyway, but who they're going against, though? Let's see. Who's the first one that you see? I haven't seen it yet. Let's see. Michigan up here. Nope. USC. Don't see SC yet. Michigan, 38th. They're getting 191 in the rushing game. What do they end up with in that one? What did they end up in your game? Tell me. You may have shut them down, but if they're one-dimensional, you should have shut them down. Rushing yards, they only got 80 in that one. 204 passing yards. So, yeah. Look, they were one-dimensional, though. They got all that because it's wild to me. Wild to me. That and tells you why they weren't able to score at all. Why they weren't able to score at all. Oh, probably not, Hankster. You know better. What are we talking about with JA? Who cares? Going through here. Lori, if I remember correctly, you could not wait to get to JA last year. Could not wait to get to JA. Maybe you should back off on killing him so much. Because you don't have as good a rush defense as you think you do, little Coop. That's why. Schedules do matter. Who you play matters. Who you play matters. That's the stupidest thing I've ever even heard, D-Max. It's the stupidest thing I've ever even heard. And even a 100-yard rusher doesn't even make a defense bad. From the eye test, Texas isn't the number one team in the country, said David Chamberlain. Michigan win isn't a good win. It's not a good win. And I got to tell you, the win that you had over Mississippi State wasn't great either. It wasn't. We'll get back to this. Okay, so you've got Michigan there. Let's see who else. I don't see anybody on this first page. So let's go to the next page and see these other rush defenses or rush offenses. I'm sorry. Let's see. Colorado State at 57th, averaging 174.6 per game. 57th. Okay. Then there's SC, 149. Nope, y'all didn't play SC though. Let's see. UTSA, 141. That's the next highest one. ULM averaging 138. Mississippi State, I thought they were right here somewhere too, if I remember right. Maybe not. Let's look. I think they were back on that other page. Because I saw it. Not used to their new logo. Maybe I missed it. I know they weren't on the first page, or at least I don't think they were. Let's look. I don't know. I didn't see him. Sark chews used gum. Gross. I love it. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, they're not great. We know they're not great at anything really at Mississippi State right now. Levy's got a lot of work ahead of him to get them on track. That's a fact. But in any event, it's not like you're going up against a bunch of world beaters, because we know you haven't. We know you haven't. So all these numbers are inflated. That's why I said at the end of the year, it's going to all bear itself out. You still got to go up against Georgia next week after you get your ass kicked this week. You're going to lose 2 in a row. And hell, Vanderbilt is going to give you a hard time running the football. They are. They've got another. I mean, we saw what Diego Pavia did against Alabama last week. He runs the ball very well. They've got a good running back. They sealed the game running the ball. That would be hilarious, by the way, if y'all were to lose that one. No. We'll be there. Hey, listen, I'll be there and I'll be back. Oh, yeah, they're number 91 in the country. They're getting 136. There's Mississippi State, number 91 in the country. Right there, 136.6 per game. You're not playing a bunch of freaking world beaters, folks. You're not. And if you get one-dimensional, which you will, you guys, y'all want to talk about Oklahoma having injuries. Nobody wants to talk about Texas having injuries, including the one for Quinn. All of a sudden, Quinn is great. He's still a Heisman contender. Yeah, right. You guys are trash. Trash. All right. Let's see who else we got in here. We've got a lot of folks in here today. A lot of folks in here today. Let's check these numbers. We need them likes to go up, folks. Well, this is true. Yeah, I bet you are. But if you can't run the ball, you're going to have a struggle getting long passes off too. That's for sure. We'll see. Quinn's going to play. Looks like he will. You're 37th in rushing against bad rushing defenses too. Oh my God. Let's go look at that one too real quick. Since we're 37th. Rush defense is what we're looking for here. Yeah, Oklahoma's played the number 2 rush defense. You guys played the number 5 in Michigan, but again, they haven't played a great schedule either. Who else? UTSA. I mean, yeah, whatever. UTSA, that's who you're going to hang your hat on. Wow. And OU hasn't run the ball great, but they're 27th in rush defense, so they're better than you at that. They're going to go. They're going to beat. You're not going to run the ball on them because the teams that, as I said, when it came to rushing against Oklahoma, Tennessee had under 150. Tulane had under 100 yards. Auburn had what? They actually had a pretty decent game. Temple had nothing. Houston had nothing. The worst game was the Auburn game, period. But, and pass defense even, if you look at what Tulane had done throughout the year, you want to start looking at pass defenses because we were talking about what your pass defense is, and you didn't go up against any good pass offenses. Oklahoma went up against a really good pass offense, and they had, 200 yards Tennessee got on them. 200 yards. That was mostly on 2 big plays. Okay. Tulane ended up with 83 passing yards against Oklahoma, a touchdown and a pick, 279 total yards. They come in averaging pass yards. They were having, they've had a bunch. They had against K-State, 342 passing yards. They had 500 yards almost against K-State. They had 500 against UAB. They had 500 against South Florida. 355 against Louisiana. They had 325. Again, 279 against OU. So they shut down their passing attack, and their running game didn't do much either. Again, I think that the more that you look at it, the more you can see. You have to do this against everybody. The numbers will bear out, but guaranteed, this is a better defense than the one that you couldn't beat a year ago. And you don't have a better offense than you had a year ago either. We know your defense isn't better than it was last season. We know that. You know it too. You know it too. You want to think that it is. You know it's not. And you also know that you don't have a better offense, even though you're averaging 45 points. Big whoopty shit. You haven't played anybody yet. And that's the other thing. The other teams that hadn't really played anybody so far, and then the first time they played a decent team, they got beat. Let's talk about Mizzou. Everybody's talking about Mizzou, top 10 in the country. They go and get embarrassed at Texas A&M last week. Embarrassed. Ole Miss, the best team they played leading up to Kentucky that got smoked by South Carolina. The best game they had before that leading up to it, Wake Forest. Everybody's been talking about them as a playoff. And Kentucky beats them. You're going to lose this week. You finally get a team with a pulse, one that hates you, one that knows you, and they're going to beat you. It's going to be how it is. OU still has everything in front of it. They're just not led by offense. This is a get-right game for OU when it comes to the offensive side. I don't see a way Texas does it. You're better than Mizzou. Well, I would hope you're better than Mizzou. No, it doesn't. The defense for Michigan, their rushing defense, they're showing them at 4th. They've given up 500 yards already. Okay. Oklahoma's only given up 2.6 yards per play on the rush defense, and their pass defense is good. They've had a couple of gash plays, but that's about it. Their worst game was probably, as far as yardage was concerned, was definitely the last one against Auburn. Auburn has a turnover problem, not so much a offensive problem. They've got good receivers. They've got a good running game. They're big. They're strong. And they still only put up 21 points. In the end, what you have to look at is, what do they score? Who gives a shit about the yardage? What do they score? You guys have given up so far 6.8 points per game, 7.8 points per game, something like that. Okay, awesome. But you're doing it against teams that don't score. Oklahoma's gone up against two of the top scoring offenses in the country and held them well below their averages. They'll do the same with Texas. Texas is losing 4 games. You're right, Charles. I've been saying it all year. I'm sticking to it. They lose 4. They lose the next 2, Saturday and next week. They're going to lose to Georgia too. Wouldn't be overly surprised, but we know that Vandy isn't going to sneak up on them, so they probably win that game. Wouldn't surprise me if they didn't. I think Arkansas can beat them, and I know they lose to A&M this year. I know they lose to A&M. So they're losing 4. They still got 4 coming. They hadn't played a game yet. They haven't played a real team yet. So it's, you can sit here and make all these, I love all the statements being made all around the country by all these supposed analysts, experts. The 45 points a game, what does it mean? You haven't played a good defense. You haven't. And you know what, if you want to call them a good defense, you put up 31 on them. Michigan put up 31. Georgia has a much better defense, though, than what, Lori? Georgia has a much better defense than they've played until, other than this week, they're going to play a better one. Bottom line, to expect that you just know you're going to come in and win this game and you haven't even been tested yet is silly stuff, man. What stats? I'm telling you that the stats don't matter that much, but I'm telling you where these stats are. You can put holes in them. You can put holes in these stats. And if you actually play good teams, it's one thing, but you haven't played good teams. Those stats are super inflated when you look at, we're number 2 in the country in pass defense. Okay. Scoring defense. Okay. You haven't played an offense that scores. It just doesn't happen. If you're a Tennessee fan, what do you think of Oklahoma's defense? Because I'm telling you that I think Tennessee's offense is much better than Texas. And you guys weren't moving the football. You had a couple of big plays. They had Nico in the blender all night. Causing him to fumble twice. They couldn't run the ball either. That's just, look, there's a reason for us to, plenty of reason to believe that you can win this game, aside from history, that everybody knows that OU wins this game more than it don't. You're tripping, MAGA. You're tripping. Tennessee's offense is better than yours. They got better receivers and damn sure got better running backs right now. And I like Nico. I think maybe you might have a advantage at quarterback when Quinn's in and healthy. But Nico's going to be one of the badass ones. He is. They have a better offense. And they certainly have a better defense, too. You would get your ass rolled by Tennessee. Rolled. That's why this is the number 1 team in the country. I love it that you're number 1. I think it makes it, again, I'm going to tell you that, too. We know one thing is that Texas doesn't do great with pressure. When it comes to pressure, they lose those games. 0-2 against Washington in the bowl game and then the playoff. Lost last year after you go to, win that huge game at Alabama when they weren't near what they became towards the end of the year. You go win that game, and then the next 2 good teams you played beat you. That's it. So we've seen you not handle adversity well. To expect that it's just all of a sudden going to happen this week when you go up against the best defense you've played, period, and probably still the best offense you've played, period. Not probably, the best offense you've played, period. What are you going to do? You haven't had to deal with any adversity yet. You're going to on Saturday. I'll be in the stadium to see it all. And I'll be back here to freaking take the heat if I'm wrong. But I'm not wrong. Not wrong. Let me do this real quick. Legend, you want to pop in for a second? I want to put it in your... I can find it. Pop in if you want to, Legend. It's in your Twitter. Time to hit lunch with the dev team. The dev team. Thanks for coming in, my man. Appreciate you. All right, let me go in there and say hello to everybody. Where are you at, chicken? You said Wisconsin earlier, huh? Have you guys voted in the poll that I have up there? Let's see what we got. What are the poll numbers so far? 64-36 on Oklahoma winning. Obviously, this is a pro. We got 125 votes and we've got 59 likes. So that tells me that you guys are in here doing this on my stream for free, freeloading, and not hitting the like button. That's bad juju, man. Even if you were gonna win, that's not good. Hit the like button, guys. It's free. If nothing else, it should be entertainment. You got somebody to come back and troll if I'm wrong. I'm not wrong, but if I am, you're in Illinois now. Oh yeah, no. That fell through there, Drew. It sucked. Did who unblock you? Robert PV. I didn't have you blocked. Only 76 in the chat. No, there's 92 right here. And there were, here's the thing, there's been over 100 people in that chat at some point. And or that at least that many, because that's how many votes you got in that deal. So and right now there's according to the studio right here, there's 93 people in this chat. Now some of them could be from the other YouTube channel on this end, but that's not what it's showing on my pages. So yeah, right now it's showing 100 in here right now. There's been over total. Chrissy
super chat, $20. Just minding my business in background as always. I will be here to talk shit if OU or Texas loses tomorrow.
Perfect.
Too many capping fans in chat.
Too many capping fans in chat. Okay. Thanks for the super chat there, Chrissy. You capping fans in the chat, he's talking to you, Texas. Yeah, I mean, look, expect it to be a game. Expect it to be a game. That's all I would tell you. What do we got here? Coach Ricks. Hey, you want to jump in here as well, Coach Ricks? I'll send you a link right now. All right, you got it in there too, Coach Ricks. Where you at, legend? Let's see who else we got. Oh, you cappers, you, Drew says. Baby Sark. That's what Kimberly K was saying. She woke up singing the other day. That was hilarious. Thanks for the super chat, Chris. I appreciate you, man. Let's see. Yeah. Binks, you talk about that 63-51. And on top of that, you guys have played for a lot longer than Oklahoma has. 7 years longer you've been playing college. So what we got?
Sooner_Brandon super chat, $5. Hawk Dog and Flash Taylor become legendary in Texas has an Oklahoma problem.
Yeah, they do have an Oklahoma problem. And Binks, when you're talking about 63-51, talk about it in the modern day. Like, since you allow black players to be on the team at Texas, it's 40-25 OU since then. 65 years. I mean, you can go back as far as you want to go. They were wearing leather helmets back when you guys dominated it. I put that stat up earlier in the week. It's not hard to see. Thank you, Sooner Brandon. Appreciate you. Top 5 wise pretty much not going to play. Yeah. Yeah. But that means that the next guy's got to step up and get ready to go. And Michael Hawkins is a guy that can beat you in a lot of ways. He's made them better already. He's already made them better. Couple of weeks to kind of put together a better game plan for him. I think it's going to be a good deal. Stoops had max number. Yeah. Yeah. You know, Kyle Umling put up that stat of the 10 most lopsided Red River games. For whatever reason, 9 of those, Oklahoma won. That's the whole thing is, I mean, you got to look at this too, guys. The wide receivers are out. There's nothing you can do about it. But I'll tell you this. I think it looked like Bauer Sharp was finding his way much better than he had been with Jackson. He could have been a monster game had a couple of them passes not been called back. Monster game. JJ Hester, look, I keep thinking that maybe with him being body size that he is and the speed that he has, why can't he do what Jaden Gibson started doing last year in the second half of the season? He caught one. Next thing you know, he turns into a dog. 5 touchdowns and he only had 13 catches the whole season. 5 of them were touchdowns. You get a couple of these guys to step up and make a play here and there. Zion Reagan's a lot of speed there. Obviously, Jacquez Petaway, he had a couple of big catches against Tennessee. Seems to have some chemistry with them. Look, these other guys got to step up now. You got to step up. I think this is definitely the lightest secondary that you're going to see as far as between Tennessee, Auburn, and Texas. This is the worst secondary of the 3. No doubt about that. Mike the Legend, my man, what's up?
What's going on, Jason? How you doing this morning?
You still floating, man? You still floating?
Dude, I couldn't sleep all last night, man.
Really?
I was up till 6 o'clock this morning.
I love it.
Man, that was like I told you on the phone last night, dude. That was a very, very humbling experience for me.
It's a great show, man, by the way. Great show. Obviously,
thanks, Jason. I appreciate it.
I enjoyed it. You and Bishop in there and talking to Derek White was a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. to see my channel finally come to fruition like I envisioned it, you know. And now me and you talked about this several days ago. Now that I got Derek in the mix, I mean, look at what he's going to do for me to bring in these former players to my channel.
Sure. Yeah, but I mean, it's just having him on, though. I mean, the way you guys, I love the show because of the reminiscing that you got him doing. He was enjoying that.
Yeah.
Going back and getting to talk about those days and stuff. And
cut from a different cloth. It really is. I mean,
there's real hate there.
Yeah, that's real true blue hate. And to guys, to the Texas fans in the chat, y'all don't realize, and I've been following OU football since 1970. What y'all don't realize, and y'all sitting there saying OU don't have an offense. This game right here, this ball game coming up Saturday, tomorrow, when OU's either playing crappy on defense or crappy on offense, this is OU's magic bullet game every time. 1998 didn't beat a soul under John Blake's last year, and we beat Texas with fucking John Blake.
No doubt. That was the way. And I went back, I've been back and looked at that season and like how bad they really were. Cause I mean, I go back, I remembered how bad they were, but I wanted to like just how different it was when Stoops got to town.
Yeah.
As compared to it. And it was, oh my God. Offensively, they were putrid.
Yeah.
Flat putrid. It wasn't.
You're welcome, Kimberly K. She said, thanks, Sooner Legend, for taking my fussing as love to get you back on YouTube and not taking offense. First Lady, I love you, darling.
Yeah. We were fussing at him too.
Yeah.
We were fussing at him too. So,
but I was catching fish. Come on. It was for a good cause.
Don't make no excuses, bro. Come on. You're not getting away with that shit. Not getting away with that shit.
I know, brother.
I know you were fishing. You can still hit play when you got home. I don't want to hear it.
I know it. I know it. I know it. I know it. Hit me with your best shot, Jason.
Hey, what's up there, Shotty? Good to see you.
Hey, Shotty. Thank
Rick.
you, Shotty. I appreciate that.
Got Coach Rick's in the stream. What's up, my man?
What's going on, fellas?
Good to have you in here.
Hey, man.
What's up, Coach?
What's going on? What's going on, Sooner Legend? Just sitting up here, man. Listen to Jason go crazy.
Oh, man, Coach Ricks, I wished you'd have came in my live last night. I had Derek White on the show.
Man, I was wanting to. I just had to do payroll. And if I don't do payroll, people don't get paid.
Well, that's true, Coach Rick.
And I don't want that headache.
Make sure you pay everybody. Don't be dirty like that, Coach Ricks. Come on,
you got to pay them folks.
Hey, Jason, I was sitting up here, man, listening to you do these stats, man, and one thing that you left off.
Okay. Chime in. Let's go.
Mississippi State.
Time
of possession. They had the ball 10 minutes more than what Texas did.
Is that right?
Texas just had three big plays in the fourth quarter to win that game handily. Also, turnover. Texas had 2 turnovers. Mississippi State had 1. Now, here's the kicker that nobody wants to say. Mississippi State had 50 rushes for 160 yards. So, team that bad with a new coach.
Well, and they're bad, by the way.
I saw the game just last week, man. They terrible.
Yeah, I was watching it. Yeah, they're terrible. Terrible.
You know, so it really does mean something who you play. As you said, Missouri found out the hard way. So we're going to find out how good they are. I just think that this will be OU's first game that they really put everything together. And no one's thinking about Michael Hawkins having that 1 week off to really implement a new system for him. After Tennessee, they had Auburn the next week, so they couldn't really do anything. They had a whole week off. So I think it's going to be a good turnout on the offense. So we're just going to see tomorrow.
Yep.
What did Brandon and Parker say that makes you say that? I mean, not that I disagree, but Yeah, I don't know. Look, man, here's the bottom line when it comes to that. And look, those things that they're turning over the ball, that's another thing nobody's talking about. Oklahoma has had less turnovers than Texas has this season, right? For all the crap that you want to talk about the offense and what they aren't, what they don't do is turn the ball over. And that's a key thing in this game. We know that. Who wins the – and matter of fact, since Brent Venables got to town, they're 11-0 when they win the turnover battle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bottom line is you need to win the turnover battle. They turned him over 3 times last year. They turned over Quinn, right? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was going to tell Sooner in Texas I did trim my beard up. I got to look good for my show. I don't need to be looking like Grizzly Adams.
Yeah, it's under Coach's Talk for Coach Ricks. It's under Coach's Talk on YouTube.
So don't let you. I'm gonna jump on with you one day, man. I'm gonna jump on with you one day.
Hey, man, that show last night was killer, man. We were just talking about that. Derek White coming on, and to get him going and reminiscing. I mean, he was talking about all his teammates and all that stuff. It was a really, really cool show, man. Really cool show.
Jason, I think. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying I loved it. It was a lot of fun, man, watching that show. Just listening.
I think Derek was impressed that I rattled off the whole defense from the '85 national championship season without a piece of paper in front of me.
I know I was.
That's a true fan. That's a true OU fan.
Well, Jason will tell you, Coach, that Derek White officially welcomed me into the brotherhood of his Sooner brothers. He said I'm putting my stamp on it, and if anybody wants any flap about it, they got to come to me.
Yeah, man, you've earned that, man. You've earned that.
Yeah, and he just hit the 500 mark as well, so he's got partially monetized. He's going to be able to partially monetize, start taking super chats. Love that. The channel's just going to keep growing, man. And don't forget, make sure you guys jump on there, Sooner Legend Podcast. If you're not already a subscriber, let's help him get all the way to 1,000, and let's get those watch hours up a little bit. He only needs a few more. I'm sure he probably already got them last night, but we need to make sure that.
No, I didn't, as a matter of fact.
Well. Listen, like I said, we could probably change up that thumbnail just a little bit, and I think a lot of fans will see that and want to jump in there. So do a couple of little things. We'll make sure more people see. That's evergreen content for sure. Again, and it was really good. It was really. And good.
Let's get Coach Ricks to 500. Y'all help me out. Let's get Coach. Y'all give Coach Ricks the same love. He's a good podcaster, good OU content creator.
He does a great job.
Let's get him. Now let's work on getting Coach Ricks to that 5 to get him partially monetized.
I take all love, all everything.
Hey man, we've enjoyed having him, man. We've enjoyed having you on too. That's it. But yeah, let's talk about this though a little bit. And I'm still telling you guys, I think Texas loses 4 games. I think they lose this one. I think they lose the next one. I could see them losing Vandy. Vandy's definitely not sneaking up on anybody right now, but there's other landmines still in the way. You know, I feel almost certain now that A&M's going to beat them.
Oh yeah,
I think Arkansas can. Arkansas just got done beating Tennessee too. And look, they should have beaten Okie Light. I don't know what the hell happened that day, but
where's that game at?
The Arkansas game is in Fayetteville.
Ooh.
They got to go to the pig pen.
They do indeed. And look, even though when they lost their quarterback last week, their freshman that came in was dynamic too. They loved him.
Oh, he's a stud.
Mm-hmm.
He's a stud.
Oh yeah.
But hey, Benji, thank you for correcting me. I stand corrected. It was 50 rushes for 150 yards, not 160. So I stand corrected. Thank you for correcting it. That 10 yards for a Texas fan, it really means something.
Right. Yeah, it does. It does. And look, I mean, they were talking about we still won by 22 points. Yeah, because you hit a couple big plays.
I have a question for Texas fans that's in the chat. Y'all keep saying that OU barely beat Auburn, which is true. Mm-hmm. But let me ask you, Texas fans, let's like say you do get lucky and win that game. I'll say by about the same margin that we beat Auburn by. I guarantee you same Texas fans will be on this chat pumping your chest saying you whooped our ass when you barely beat us. And I don't give a shit because I don't care if OU wins by 1 or 100. A win is a win is a win.
You know what, guys? In a nice way, fuck y'all. We don't give a shit.
We just had to let Coach chime in a little bit. You said you didn't give a shit. It just made me think of Coach Roy Ball.
Yep.
Shout out to Coach Roy Ball.
But was I correct on that statement, Jason?
Yeah, of course. 1 or 100, man. 1 or 100. And the truth is, like I said, it's so much. The stuff that like Steven was saying on Fanatic Perspective is crazy to me because he's sitting there acting like, oh, their offense is so good. They haven't played a good defense yet.
No.
Michigan's defense is the best one that they've played, and they've given up a lot of points through the air. They've given up a lot of yardage. And they're one-dimensional. So they literally kept their defense on the field the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what you're getting this week. The rest of these guys don't have defenses worth a shit.
No.
Or they didn't play anybody.
No.
Scoring defenses against the Texas opponents, scoring defenses are ranked tied for 110th, 103rd. Michigan's 56th, giving up 22. But again, they haven't played a real, monster of a schedule either. And then ULM, who's played a bunch of nobodies. They're giving up 20 points, 39th in the country. In the end, you're not going up against this is the JV that you've played coming in, and now you get to get smacked in the mouth. And you go through some adversity. How are you going to deal with it? We haven't really seen Sark's teams deal with adversity well.
No.
When have we seen it? When have we seen it?
Never.
Well, there you go.
Hey, Jason, I will tell you that on your Streamlab, you cannot use unless you can use your iPhone. On my Galaxy, I can't go to your stream.
Pretty sure Coach Ricks is on his phone right now. Right, Coach Ricks?
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
You have an iPhone, Coach?
Yes.
He does.
Okay. I got a Galaxy and it don't have the software for me.
Huh. We'll figure it out. I would have to work it out for next time maybe, but
hey, no, man, I got my laptop, brother. It's all good.
Here's another thing, man, that a lot of people are not talking about. They're talking about these Texas players that are new players on this team. They haven't experienced the Cotton Bowl. They haven't experienced that Red River Rivalry.
Exactly.
That defense for Oklahoma has been there 3 or 4 years straight. So it's going to be a little bit different when you come in there and experience that for the first time. And that pressure, man, people don't realize when you get when things happen that's uncharacteristic and that you're not used to it, you start to panic.
Yep.
You start to do things that you don't normally do, and that's when mistakes happen. So I really believe, man, and like I said, I sat here last night, man, after that, and I've read a lot of emails. There's a lot of people that really believe what we're saying about Oklahoma because they've seen it. It's just the Texas fans just don't want to see it and they don't want to believe it. But even if Oklahoma happens to lose, which I doubt it, they're gonna get hit. They're gonna have some things happen to them that's not normal. You can't play teams like Mississippi State, Colorado State, Michigan, UTSA, and think that you're going to be on the same caliber as Oklahoma doing things. It just doesn't work that way.
That's right.
So, I mean, I love all the guys, man, that's Texas fans, but you guys even OU fans sometimes are like, hey, I understand we're struggling right now. Our offensive line is not where it needs to be. Our 6 receivers are out. We understand. Texas just feels like they can lose 4 or 5 people and just keep on humming the way they are.
Yeah.
So We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, everybody is saying that. Everybody is saying that about Texas, Benji.
Yeah,
So
but that's because you know
they
why
need
that is.
Texas to be
Benji
good.
knows why the hell that is too. It's because the ESPN just loves and wants for Texas to be great. They do this shit. You guys have been overrated every fucking year. Doesn't matter. In the 14 years that you didn't do dick, you were still always expected to be really good.
Well, when Earl Campbell first got recruited to Texas, which we didn't have the internet back then, but every newspaper article, every magazine article, Texas is going to kill Oklahoma with Earl Campbell. And
everybody's been saying it. It's almost every year that like this, though. Almost every year. I mean, you could go as far back as you want to, and I get it. Yeah, Earl Campbell.
Yeah, and
Earl's when Ricky was there, they weren't worth the shit either.
And Texas's record with Earl Campbell was 1-1-1. So,
why does ESPN want that for Texas? They've been in business with Texas for a long time. The Longhorn Network is an ESPN network.
They sure have. I laugh every time when everybody says Texas is back. I'm like, shit, I've been hearing this since the early 70s. This ain't nothing new to me.
They need for Texas to be relevant. It's a marketing thing. You can't market something that's not good. Who's going to buy it? So you have to make them this bigger than life thing. And you're right, Jason. I've been hearing Texas is back for the last 6-7 years. Even when they was going 5-7, every preseason, Texas is going to win the Big 12, and they end up being in last place or 8th place or whatever. So I think they are a good team. Don't get me wrong. I think they are a good team. I just think they have not been tested yet.
Exactly.
And we can play a lukewarm schedule all year long and think we're good. Then we play a team that has the same Joes as us, and we get our ass handed to us because, yeah, we're good, but we haven't been battle tested. Battle tested is very important in college football.
Rush, be right back.
All right.
You're right, Coach Ricks.
You know, I'm just trying to keep it honest. I mean, I'm not saying that we're going to go out there and do all these, magical things. I just think that we have to come to a realization that this game has always been close.
Yeah.
Always been close. The teams that come in there that's supposed to win normally lose. Teams that come in there that's supposed to lose normally win. Yeah. So to have a 14-point spread, I was shocked when I saw that.
Well, if I which I don't bet on games. I never have gambled because I suck at it. But knowing what I know, if I was a betting man, I would take OU and the points with the over.
Yeah.
You know.
But while 49-0 is okay, look, that was the first time the OU was one-dimensional, had no quarterback, had no game plan. But if you watch that game, we ran the ball up and down the field, and then what happened? Made a bonehead mistake, trying to throw passes from the tight end to another tight end and doing crazy stuff. Yeah, I will give you guys that 49-0. Yeah. I will give you that. But I will also take the 5 times Oklahoma spanked y'all's ass in the 50s, in the 60s. So I'll give you one. I'll give you guys one. I'm not gonna sit here and be mad about it. It was one game. We lived with it and came back the next year and won that game. So, hey, it is what it is. But I know that you're going to be a Texas fan and you love your team the same way that we love our team. I just try to be more realistic. Yes, Mars, 63-14, and that's when Texas was good.
Yeah.
It ain't Texas was bad or they didn't have a quarterback. Texas was good, and we still spanked that ass. And then 2012, 55-17.
Yep.
Y'all was good. Still spanked that ass. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Well, when you're down 49-0, why would you try to do a field goal? You need touchdowns. You don't need field goals.
Hang a banner. Hang a banner.
I mean, I'm going to give them
8-5 that year, for fuck's sake.
I'm going to give them the 49-0. I'm going to give it to them, Jason, because it was the first time that OU went one-dimensional. We went one-dimensional and tried a gimmick play instead of putting the backup in. The backup couldn't have done no damn worse.
No, that's true.
I mean,
listen, that was the cupboard was not left full.
No.
That's why
they don't want to say that.
Willl and Gabriel that have always pissed me off. You know that.
But BV will not use an excuse, though. He will not use
I
that
know
excuse.
he won't.
He'll just say,
you know what? That's exactly the reason that Oklahoma fans should love Brent Venables, is because he doesn't use excuses about shit like that. He doesn't blame it on the person who's the reason why it was that way. You lost two 5-star quarterbacks out of that deal, along with a lot of other players, and they already weren't good on defense.
Mm-hmm. You know what's funny, Jason?
And they went 5-7 in Sark's first year. Nobody remembers that part.
No,
they don't want to.
You know what's funny, Jason? Is I read in your chats. The same people that is off the JA bandwagon was the same ones that they was wanting to
hate on DG. Yeah.
Hate on DG and put JA in. This is beautiful.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, Lori's talking about how terrible JA was and all that stuff, and she wanted Dylan out all year last year.
Yeah.
Check this out. What happens if Texas fans start calling for Arch?
Exactly.
It's coming.
It's coming.
All they got to do is whenever it starts going bad on Saturday, I'll report all that. I promise I'll let you know how that goes. I promise I'll let you know how that goes for me in the stadium. If you don't already know.
We have to be honest when we do this. And I told myself when I did my podcast, I'm always going to try to be honest. I'm not just going to say, well, OU is this and that. I still have to be realistic and be fair. But Texas, the best team they played so far is a mediocre Big Ten team and a bottom feeder in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best they played so far.
That's right.
I don't know.
That's the whole point that I was making. And no, Lori, you weren't the only one. Just the loudest that was on my show. And I told you guys last year, though. What did I tell you guys last year? I told you that Michael Hawkins was the truth, the real deal, and that if he ever found his way onto the field, whether it was for injury or for other reasons, he wasn't coming back off. He was going to be the star.
I got that receipt. I got that because you said that on a live show when you invited me, and I ran it through my string on that same live show.
But nobody also remembers before the season started, Jason said 2025 is going to be Oklahoma's year.
Yep. Sure did.
I've been saying that too. But and listen, I'll say this. I still haven't predicted that they're going to go win the damn thing, the whole thing. I think they're going to win this game. Apologies to you for what? Why would I apologize to you, Lori? I haven't done anything to you. I let you back in the chat. OU's right there, close to being a bottom feeder in the SEC. D-Max, come on, man.
Dude. What are you smoking?
Yeah, get him out of here. Get him out. Guys, and the bottom line, look, I'm not telling you that they're going to necessarily win the whole thing. I would tell you this, though, that everything is still out there in front of Oklahoma. Every goal that they have for themselves is still available to them.
Mm-hmm.
You win this game, all of a sudden the narratives change. And let's be truthful. You guys know damn good and well. You might, even if you think you're a better football team, it isn't by much. You don't have a better offense than you had last year. OU has a better defense than it had last year. Yeah, the offense has been behind, no doubt about it. The quarterback is more dynamic than anybody they've had in the game in the last 2 years. Period. That's just a fact.
Here's the thing, man. No one predicted Oklahoma was going to come in and all 6 of their receivers were going to be gone.
Exactly.
But we don't make excuses. We just keep on, and we always say next man up. So BV is never going to use that excuse. Well, we're not prolific because our top receivers are gone.
No, he hasn't used an excuse yet, and he won't. And that's what. No, I did say that, and I'm not saying that JA's done completely forever, and maybe not even at Oklahoma.
You never know what might happen.
I lost the camera.
I mean,
you guys are gonna have to excuse me for a second. I'm trying to get this other battery.
You're fine. You never know what might happen. Something might happen to where we go back to Jackson. You never know, and it could be a blessing. It could not be. We don't know. We don't know. Setting out those games, what triggered in his mind to make him start seeing things the way he's supposed to. This guy didn't just start losing and lose confidence. I just think that sometimes, man, you get put in a situation, man, you try to do too much and it backfires on you. Yep. And you get he's running plays that they don't even have in the playbook.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're running plays that's not in the playbook, how are you going to progress and make your offense better? I just don't get it.
And here's another thing, Coach Ricks, that people's not taking into consideration. Let's say that OU hasn't had all them injuries on the wide receivers and the O-line. We would probably see a very different Jackson Arnold. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yes, because quarterbacks are not really accurate quarterbacks. Receivers help them out a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Receivers and the elite receivers that we had are definitely, we had the best wide receiver core before the season started.
Yeah.
They was always talking about.
Yeah, and even the media said there ain't another wide receiver core like Oklahoma. So
top to bottom, they were loaded, man. They were, and the truth is, it is time though to see some of these other guys step up, and they're gonna have to.
Exactly, Jason.
MAGA 2024, I got an answer for you. You said your top receivers are out. Y'all struggling on offense in every game to have played. Where and how do you see OU moving the ball against Texas? Easy. Because Texas has to be very careful how they handle this game. They can't blitz the A and B gap like they would love to against someone like Jackson to get the same results as Tennessee did. They can't do that. Because now you got a 4-3, 4-4 running back as a quarterback that can get outside. He's going to the house.
Mm-hmm.
You can't maintain outside. They're going to maintain outside because they do not want him to get outside. And that's going to open up the running lanes because now those linebackers are going to be outside the tackles and the guards and not in the A and B gap. Right. So it's going to help the offensive line because now we ain't got to try to do zone traps. We ain't got to try to mold around. We can just do man up, head up, and move the ball down the field. So we'll see. You now, one thing, Maggie, you don't realize you're talking to a coach here that understands X's and O's. So just because you see a game different than I see a game doesn't mean that it won't get the same results. OU is going to have no problem moving the ball on Texas.
That's exactly right.
When that happens, come on back in this chat and say, Coach Ricks, you were right. And then I'll accept that apology when that happens.
I agree with you, Coach. I don't know X's and O's like you do, but you hit everything on the head. Michael Hawkins, they don't realize, and I'm saying this as a fan, from a fan perspective, that Texas hasn't seen a player like Michael Hawkins.
No.
And you can't teach 4.3 speed.
No.
You know. So that's just
Yeah,
my opinion.
Preach that one. Preach that part.
What's that?
You can't teach 4.3 speed.
No, you can't teach 4.3. You can't, because, and you know, in that Auburn game, I've been harping on this. When Hawk got loose in that secondary, they put ABC put a timer on him, 4.3 all the way to the house.
Yeah.
What's his name? Benji. Oh well, Benji. I'll give it to you now. Y'all gonna learn everything. I don't get flustered. I just hit you right back with something that you might not realize. But if
who gets flustered? We're not flustered. OU owns this series. Why would we get flustered with this shit?
I'm not flustered.
This is what I like to say. Is that when you do certain things and certain things happen, they're talking about, well, why didn't they didn't do it the first 5 games? Well, Michael only played a game and a half ago.
Yep.
So
yeah, and that's the thing.
You can't put that on him.
It makes me laugh when people talk like that too, Coach, because the goal is to get better week by week.
Yeah.
Right? It's not who looks really good in week 2 against whatever, team you're playing. It's not about that. It's not about who looks really good in week 5 even.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't. It's about who looks better at the end of the year. And I've said this all along. Look, the defense's struggles against Auburn, part of that was probably due to the fact that they were on the field so much more than the offense was the week before. 10 minutes separated them just in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Just in the first half against Tennessee. Then they go on the road. It's your first SEC game. In what everybody tells us, now I love this part that it's Auburn sucks. But everybody's been telling us coming into the year that don't you expect that to just be a guaranteed win, because that's one of the toughest places there is to play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So bottom line is you have to look at it in terms of they still look when they needed that defense to play well. After Hawkins hit that 60-yard dime to J.J. Hester and they score, then what? They come out and on the next series they get a pick 6, and they ended up with 3-4 sacks in the fourth quarter and I think they gave up a total of, I don't even know if it was a positive yardage in the fourth quarter for Auburn. So you can look at the yardage if you want to, but go look at the score. 21 points. They have one of the better offenses as far as yardage is concerned. It's a turnover issue that they have. And the bottom line is you have to look at it as we're trying to get better from week to week. If you're already peaking when you're just like what Chicken just said, Kirby said he's worried that Georgia's already peaked. Well, if Georgia's peaked, they are in trouble, because I don't think that they're near what they're going to be. I don't think that's the case. I think he's challenging his team. Did we lose you on the other stream there? You were just frozen. Are you there? Oops.
Oh, hang on. There we are.
I got you.
Am I here?
No, I got you now. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here too.
All right. Yeah. No. So, but that's the thing, is that you have to get better from week to week. If you're already everything that you're supposed to be, then great. But this defense has shown that it could be dominant. It's been one of the best. It's turning everybody over. They've got more fumbles. They've caused more fumbles than anybody in the country. They're like number 4 overall in turnover differential. They turn over the ball less than Texas does. Nobody wants to talk about these stats, but you want to talk about the other stats like they matter so much. And in the end, that's the whole reason that I brought them all up, is not all these stats matter, not all, and none of them really do. What matters is what you do out on the field. In the end, you haven't done anything yet. You haven't beaten a team that's got a pulse yet. And you're talking about how great you guys are. You're going to lose the game. You're going to lose the game. because this defense is going to make you one-dimensional. You're not running on this defense. If you don't run on this defense, Quinn's going to be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I believe more than anything that OU wins the game. Not because of Michael. I think Michael's great. I think he's going to be just fine. It's not about Michael Hawkins here. This is about the fact that nobody runs on this defense. Go ahead.
Shakur, y'all haven't beat. I mean, look at y'all's schedule. Y'all had a cupcake schedule. Y'all haven't beaten anyone anyway either. But we did beat Auburn at Jordan-Hare when we was told all last year that we would lose to Auburn at Jordan-Hare. And now they're saying that the win didn't matter. How was that, Jason?
Great stuff. And Cam Coleman is better than any receiver at Texas. That's a fact. Cam Coleman's a dog.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those
tell you what,
amazing freshman receivers.
That running back Auburn has, that dude impressed me.
Yeah. He's good. Lori, you sound like a freaking Texas fan, Lori. I just looked at Auburn's schedule. They may now. They're falling completely apart. You got to look at more. You have to look at more than just the numbers. They are an SEC team that recruits very well. Their quarterback is suspect. They got a good running back. They've got good receivers. It's a tough place to go. Things happen there. They should have beaten Alabama.
Super chat, $4.99. Jason, they don't get it that the defense have been balling us out every game. The dogs are tired, and that was a much needed break.
How is it that when Alabama plays Auburn at Jordan-Hare and it's a close game, oh man, that's a good win for Alabama. Or when Georgia does it, oh man, that's a good. OU does it, oh well, Auburn sucks. Auburn gave the game away. Is it going to be tit for tat? Are we going to be like, well, this didn't happen, that didn't happen? We can sit here and do conspiracy theories all day. I just don't feel like Texas has been tested. They can sit here and say, well, OU ain't played nobody, which they have. They played the number one offense in the nation. Period.
Yes, Buck Wild Long. Our win at Auburn is a lot better than y'all beating the defending national champions because they are a shell of their former fucking self.
Thank you.
They ain't even informing themselves. They just there. I mean, come on, man.
It's so hilarious, the shit that gets said.
Shakara, okay. I'm just gonna sit here and just read them because I haven't heard one Texas receiver go off this season.
Isaiah Bond's had the best season out of them, and I know they like their freshmen too. Cam Coleman's better than everybody you got, bro.
Thank you. I'm just saying that's not even a question. I mean, now you don't hear me saying that we have the best anything. We just got a good team, but you guys are the ones that's delusional.
Got the best running back on the field in Taylor Tatum. And it's arguable with the quarterback situation, man. I think it's arguable. I'll give Quinn the nod right now, but I'm going to tell you, when he gets one-dimensional, which he will be, because you're not running the ball in Oklahoma, we know that, you're in trouble.
Oh, my God.
Number one team in the nation. Y'all not playing the number one offense.
You're my buddy.
The number one team in the nation. Oh, Benji. No. It's on paper, you're the number one team in the country. You're not the best team in the nation, and you know that too. You know that too. Let's be real.
I guess they got the best coach too, huh? Since they're number one.
Yeah. The brand has finally returned. Fuck your brand.
Trash.
Oh man.
Oh, you.
I mean, according to Texas fans and the media, we just give Texas the golden hat. Don't even play the fucking game. Don't even just OU don't show up Saturday tomorrow. Just give everything to fucking Texas.
That's a lot of fucks in one word, in one sentence. A lot of fucks. You're gonna Mess with Lori's ears.
You know, I'm getting sick of it, Jason, and I'm sorry for dropping the F-bombs, but good God. I mean, you know, we're getting treated like we did against Alabama in 2014, and look what happened to Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Shakir, we're not delusional fans, dude. You Texas fans,
you don't like it. You guys are delusional. When have you beat somebody, and then talk? When you win, hey, look, I'll tell you this much. I'll be back here either way. No later than I'll be back in some form or fashion on Saturday night. I'm going to the game, but I'm coming back home. But I will be back in here in some way. So I'll be back here to talk whether they win or lose.
Me too.
I bet we get not very many of you guys to come back after y'all lose.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll bet you that for sure.
Yeah.
No, Jason. If they lose, it'll be a reason. It'll be an excuse why they lost. It won't just be.
They won't make it here. It'll be on Twitter or somewhere else. They ain't gonna come back in here. You can believe that. I'd love it if they did. Ben G will be back.
Yeah, Ben G will be back.
He's a member. He's a member of the show.
Yeah, Ben G's good people. Now I can handle Ben G because he might talk crap, but he's not one of the usuals.
He'll have to take it. He'll have to take it, but he dishes it out too. But that's all good. And I'll just tell you this. Look, when it comes to the rest of you guys, I don't care what y'all think. Man, I'm just telling you, it's not delusion here. I'm telling you what I see and what is real when it comes down to it. You haven't gotten tested yet. So the idea that all these stats really mean something. Yeah, you win and won your games. I'm going to give you props for that. Props for that. You've gone and won in your games. But you haven't played anybody good yet. And that includes Michigan, by the way. Yeah.
Jason,
like I said, they had their best passing game against you guys, and y'all are pumping your chest about the number 2 pass defense in the country. Whoopty shit! You haven't played anybody that throws the ball. Go ahead.
No, do you still have that screenshot I sent you? Of the
one from the drives,
first couple of drives that Texas had against Mississippi State.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll upload it right now. Hold on.
And like I said, so Shakur, whenever I say something, man, I have to back it up with facts because I don't really know your team the way I should. The same way you don't know OU like you should because that's not your team. So
exactly,
I do. I know your team.
I understand what you're saying, but to play a team as terrible as Mississippi State,
terrible.
Hey, incoming too. What's Texas's excuse for almost losing to Houston last year?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to bring up the Houston game this year.
Yeah, y'all were closer to losing to Houston than Oklahoma was. Just to be real. Can y'all see that pretty good?
Yeah, I can see it.
Run along there. Hey, now tell us. Coach Ricks. Oh, did Coach Ricks get kicked or what?
There he is.
Hey, Coach, we got you back here. What happened? Coach Ricks. Hello. Maybe he'll say, okay, so he wanted to talk about all the scoring drives. There it is. T-Boomer has another one. The brand is finally returned. I'll throw that up.
The brand has finally returned. Fuck your brand.
It never gets old, right? Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. So if you look at these scoring drives that we were talking about, Coach Ricks, you here? Oh,
I think he's having audio trouble.
He's having some audio issues. All right. But anyway, they scored on the first drive. Then they go fumble, punt, touchdown. 14-6. When was 14-6 at? Let's go back and look at these at the overall scoring. Texas, Mississippi State. Yeah. It was 21-6 going into the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And now they scored a touchdown in the third to get to 21 even. And it was 14-6 in the third quarter. That's all. You beat Houston by the skin of your ass last year, Buckwild. By the skin of your ass. And by a terrible non-call. Terrible.
Exactly.
Terrible. And it was in your own house too. At that, almost got beat. Should have got beat there. You could have lost. Should have lost the game to K-State.
But Texas fans don't want to hear that, Jason.
Oh, I know. They're when they actually played good teams, it was what it was. And you guys almost lost to them when they were still being coached by Dana Holgerson.
Yeah. And guys, we took our lumps for getting beat by Kansas and Okie Light last year.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So don't bring that shit up because me and Jason, we took our lumps.
Look, it is what it is. They lose and that game right there, they got screwed out of it. We know that.
Oh yeah.
We know that.
Yeah, mumps.
Let's see, Mississippi State, Texas. Let's look at this again. All right, so third quarter, only one score. It was with 5 minutes left. So it was 14-6 until 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah.
And then they ended up running away with it.
Yeah. So,
but look, you did what you're supposed to do at the end, but let's just not act like you guys are just bouncing the crap out of everybody.
Sure, look at what Jason's putting on the damn stream, you dumbass. You dumbass.
He is a dumbass. He hadn't done anything. Again, you must have missed the first part when we talked about this, but the scoring defenses that Texas has gone up against, you got 3 of the 5, or actually, let's see. 4 of the 6 teams that you've played are in the 100s in scoring defense, which is giving up points.
Mm-hmm.
So you've played bad defenses.
Yeah.
The best defenses you played are ULM, which, and Michigan. ULM, their scoring defense is going up against crap.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan, it is what it is. Coach, we got you back. Can we hear you now?
Yeah, man, my bad.
Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good. We're just showing them up there. That was at the half, and then we were just talking about what you were talking about. Yeah, it took until 5 minutes left of the third quarter for them to pull ahead and finally end the game, right?
Yes. And this is against a mediocre team with no defense, a new coach, a new coaching staff, a new system. And so this is what I'm trying to say to Texas fans, that I know that you're a loyal fans, but you have to look at logistics when you talk about other teams. Oklahoma is I don't care what you say. You can say they're good on defense. They are very good on defense. They are getting better on offense, and they had a week off to prepare for you guys, and so did you guys. So I'm not making this one-sided. I'm just saying you guys have to look at the overall of this. You have not played anybody worth a freaking heartbeat to that you can compare it to Oklahoma. This game has always been tight. This game has always been physical. So that was it.
Oklahoma has played one of the best offenses in the country and shut it down to way less than what it was used to having. They had about a third of their normal rushing output. Tennessee did, and they held Nico to what, 200 passing yards, right under 200 passing yards. They were averaging like 600 yards a game.
He had 148. He had 148, something like that.
They're still one of the top, and they've lost a game since then, and they're still one of the top rushing teams in the country and one of the best overall offenses in the country. Oklahoma didn't let them do shit.
But, well, I don't think so. I don't think Michigan would beat Auburn right now.
I don't know that maybe they do, maybe they don't. On the road is a different story too. Everybody talks about that all the time, about what Jordan Hare is and isn't. That even they almost beat Alabama and Georgia last year. If it took Alabama hitting a freaking prayer from 50 yards on 4th down to win that game. Now, New Mexico State can go in there and beat them, but Georgia, same thing. They were in a dogfight until the last minute of the game. Period. And no matter how you started off the game, you won it, right? Okay, great. Same thing. And I'll say the same thing for you guys, but y'all were at home too. Y'all were in a dogfight at home with the team that you don't think is very good. Okay, that we know isn't very good. They're the worst team in the SEC. Okay, Auburn, not good either. But they're more talented. And Oklahoma, they shut them completely down. They got a pick 6 and ran over them. You had a first-time starter who's a true freshman go and get it done.
I don't think Shakur watched the ball game either.
He doesn't watch shit other than box scores. I love box score watchers. Love box score watchers. That don't.
You can't say y'all dominated that damn game and the time of possession is 9 minutes in favor of the other team. You just had big plays. That was it. What are you talking about? Y'all had big plays. That was it. If you want to go look it up, Shakur, Mississippi State had 34 minutes and 57 seconds of time of possession. You guys had 25 minutes. That's a whole 9 minutes and 57 seconds, almost 10 more damn minutes of time of possession. I get it, man, that you're a diehard Longhorn.
That's for running the football too. Damn. That's running the ball. So that means that they were out. Your run defense was not good enough to keep them off the damn field.
Hey, it looks like Quentin's in your chat. I got a question for Quentin. Hey, Quentin, how come you was a little pussy last night and left the chat because Derek White took you to the woodshed?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. He knows it. And you know what? I can't see him in there. It's because he's got me blocked. He's not blocked on my channel, just so everybody understands that. Quentin, that's weak. You're gonna come in here and talk shit. You talk shit, so I can't see you though. Weak sauce.
Yeah, he tried talking shit to Derek White last night, and I mean Derek White.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
This is an OU. Then you don't watch the fucking game.
I refuse to go on a Texas podcast. Period. To say anything about
a word.
Oklahoma.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I sat there and watched Bucky and BK earlier today, and I didn't say a word to them. And they were talking shit, mad shit.
Shakir, how many games for Texas have you attended live? I've attended Nebraska, 4 Red River rivalries, 2 national championships. I'm not a fucking box score watcher, you dumbass.
I've watched every play that Texas has had this year. Every play. Every play. And I'm just telling you, yeah, they look good. They should look good against that competition. Because Michigan wasn't good. They're not good. Washington's not good, and they beat them at home. They really weren't in danger of losing that game.
Yep.
I already told you, Maggie. I will be back in here in some way, shape, or form
Me too.
Tomorrow and definitely on Sunday. We're going to be talking more.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't going nowhere.
And
I have my real name out in front of this shit other than just saying MAGA.
Shakir, will you come to this channel with your excuses if we beat y'all tomorrow? Because there will be no. I've already promised.
He won't be here. He's talking shit right now. He won't be here, and you know Quentin won't be back. He'll be crying like he was last year.
But I've already promised Ben G that if because Ben G's good people and I love him to death.
Benji will be here. Benji will be here.
If we get beat by Texas, I will go on my reaction show the next day and I will hand Texas my flower with no excuses. But
we always do that.
But you know what, guys? I'm not such a fan that.
You know what, guys? In a nice way,
there you go.
Fuck y'all. We don't give a shit.
I know what I'm gonna do when OU win. I'm gonna go on for the first time a Texas podcast and talk shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, he won't be here. Shakur ain't gonna be here. MAGA won't be here. Yeah, right. Y'all ain't gonna be here, and you know Quentin ain't gonna be here because he's scared to show up. He'll come in talking shit to y'all, but he doesn't make it to where anybody can see him from the channel.
Well, hey guys, I got it cut out.
All right, man.
Jason, Coach Rick's always good seeing you, but dog.
Good seeing you, bud. Hey, Sooner Legend. Whenever I get Ryan Frank on here, man, I'll make sure I send for you.
Okay, brother.
I'll make sure you on that podcast.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
No problem, bud, man. Stay safe, bud.
I will.
All right, man.
Horns down.
Throw them. That's what's up.
We'll see you later, Jason.
Later, brother. Thanks for coming on.
Brother.
Yeah. And so the question would be Sooner Legend, Mike the Legend from Sooner Legends podcast. Make sure you guys get over there and check out his show. He's doing a great job over there. And hey, guys,
Texas 42.
We're gonna be here. I saw that shit. I was just like what we saw from Delusional Steven too. And I mean, I like Steven and Nino. I thought he got a little wound up the other night. Did you see that video earlier? Were you? You didn't? Okay, I'll go ahead and play it real quick. Give me just a second.
Because Michael Van Buren hadn't been running around out there like that. So all I'm saying is with Anthony Hill and Colin Simmons and Makuba and all these guys that we have on our team, good luck executing that game plan if the whole game plan is hero ball the entire time. Dylan Gabriel didn't do just hero ball last year. Let's also clarify that. He had some strategic design quarterback runs that did gash us. Absolutely. The tempo last year was also a challenge. That is something that we've adjusted to. Also, the boogeyman that spooked you guys in your bowl game is now on our staff in Johnny Nansen. You're laughing because you know it's true. Okay? So good luck dealing with all of that, because the two knuckleheads that you have in your box calling your offense, Seth Luttrell and Bob Joe John Finley or whatever the hell his name is, those guys are in for a rude awakening when it comes to PK and Johnny Nansen. I don't like that matchup for you guys.
Seth, he said PK. Oh my God, PK.
Yeah, PK. Come on, man. Come on, man. And good luck dealing with what? Exactly what have they done defensively since PK got there? I think their best defensive coach is not there anymore. Bo Davis. He gone. Turned a couple of 3-stars into first and second rounders on the D line. You don't have that guy around anymore. And not for nothing, we have a much better D line than we had a year ago, and you couldn't get a yard on them. You don't have a better offense than you did. You don't have a better rushing offense for damn sure. What are you going to do but get one-dimensional? You get one-dimensional on this football team, you're fucked. And that's why Oklahoma's going to win. That's why Oklahoma's going to win. I think winning ugly is definitely that. Look, I think that's probably the way that you probably go do it, man. JB, if Texas scores 30 plus, I don't know. I don't think it needs to be. I don't think it becomes a shootout, though. I don't think it becomes a shootout.
Yeah. I just think that they're going to have a game plan for Texas that's going to be different than what Texas is seeing. And rightfully so, Texas might have something different.
How are they going to get their running game going? If everybody, how is it delusional to say it's going to be one dimensional? You're not going to win the rushing battle. You're not going to do it.
No, they're not going to run on them. We know that for a fact. I mean,
they're not going to run on them. Tennessee couldn't run on them. You ain't running on them.
Yeah,
they couldn't get that little bubble screen game that Sark loves so much. Doesn't work against this Oklahoma defense. It doesn't work.
Well, we'll see. Like I said, I think it's going to be a cut and dry thing because we've seen this team stop high-powered offenses.
Yeah.
And Tennessee is the cream of the crop. Texas is not Tennessee. I don't care how they make it seem. They're
not running the ball. They're not close running the ball. And again, if you become one-dimensional, Oklahoma is going to get you from everywhere. He's not going to, and already they got him last year 5 times. 5 sacks. They forced 3 turnovers on him. 2 picks and a fumble. And you believe in Quinn so much. I don't buy it. And you know that if they got him 5 times last year with you running the ball well with Brooks, what the fuck are you going to do when you can't get the run game going this time around?
Yep. Well, Jason, I gotta get up out of here too.
Everywhere. It's going to start coming from everywhere, and this is why I'm telling you that Oklahoma wins the game. Not any other reason. Not because I'm telling you that we're going to see Michael Hawkins go out there and have a Heisman performance. That's not what I don't have those expectations for a freshman. I think he's very good. I think he could very well have a good game. I think they go out there and win because they're going to beat you the same way they beat you last year defensively. They're going to make the plays that they have to make. And I do think that they're not going to turn the ball over. The turnover battle is important, and the rushing game. We all heard it all last year. That's what y'all were saying all last year because y'all were rushing the ball really well. Really, really well. And now you're not.
Yeah.
You're throwing the ball great. That's cool. You haven't played a good secondary yet. We'll see. If it gets one-dimensional, you get in trouble. Period. And hey, yeah, Kyle. Yeah, Ethan Downs. What about the law firm? R. Mason Thomas. The dude leads the SEC in sacks.
Yep. He loves Texas.
He loves Texas.
He's an OU kid, so he loves Texas.
And the interior of the defensive line is they've been great. The best O-line, yeah, okay. We saw that it's the same O-line that they saw last year. That you didn't kill us, couldn't get a yard at the goal line. And that was putting Sweat and Murphy in the backfield to try to clear the road too. Didn't work. This is a better defense than that one was.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys can say what you want. I love it. I loved when I saw that stuff from Nash. Nash is funny, man. Nash on Texas, he's a trip. Oklahoma's terrible. They're terrible. Last year's like he said that after last year's game too, when he said, and we lost to them.
Okay. Hey Jason, I gotta get ready to go, but
I got to split too, man.
Right.
But appreciate you coming in. And yeah, we've been going for a while now. I got to get.
Yeah.
But all right, man. Appreciate you coming in. Make sure you guys get over and check out Coach Ricks. It's Coach's Talk with Coach Ricks.
Appreciate it. I got 2 horns down and my damn toes down.
Right on.
All right, man. Take care, bud.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Coach Ricks from Coach's Talk with Coach Ricks. Make sure you guys get over there and check them out. All right, I'm going to get out of here too. It's been fun. It's been real. Having been real fun with all you Texas guys, but it is funny actually because it's going to be great. Bucky and Aaron are really cool people. They hate OU. They've been on Austin radio since. Oh, I don't have a problem with them. I didn't say shit to them. And they were talking smack. I expect it. You should expect it. It's fine. I'm good with that. Hell, I'm talking shit right now. It's great stuff. Texas isn't going to win this game. It's the bottom line. And I'll be back to get my flowers from you or take, you know, the heat if they don't win. And I'll also be at the game. So this is what it is. But I'm telling you why they're going to lose the game. Texas losing the game. Texas averaging 190. They might get half that. Yeah, well, you need more. You're going to need more than half that. So, look, we know Oklahoma can win ugly. We don't know if you can. It's going to get ugly tomorrow. Thanks for coming in, Coach Ricks. We appreciate you. Mr. Ben, thank you for that. I will be safe sooner. Brandon, thank you. Yep. Dude, Quentin, quit trolling around in my freaking chats since you're being a weak. You're not even blocked. Punk stuff right there, dude. Weak sauce. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate everybody coming in. Boomer Sooner. I'll give you my score prediction. I think Oklahoma wins 28-17. 28-17. That's it. That's what I got to that. We'll see you guys on the next one.
An Elio Super Chat, $5. Been listening this morning. Sounded like quite the entertainment show. Good luck everyone, and enjoy your weekend.